Hey everyone, welcome to my channel English with Kamal. In today's session, we are going to look at the common errors people make when using countable and uncountable nouns. The use of countable and uncountable nouns is most challenging to many non-native speakers of English. Here I have designed a 10-question quiz with appropriate explanation after each question to help you get a better insight into this area. Each question has two sentences. In some questions, only one of these two sentences is correct. In a few others, both the given statements are wrong. Also, there are questions with both statements being correct. You need to identify these different cases. Take 10 seconds for each question and pause the video if you need more time. So let's get started. Question number one. The gym I go to has all the latest equipments. The gym I go to has all the latest equipment. Here, the second sentence is the correct one because equipment is an uncountable noun and hence we don't pluralize it by adding s to it. So, equipments is wrong. Also, we do not use the indefinite article a or an before uncountable nouns. So, to say an equipment is wrong. To make uncountable nouns countable, we often add measurement words like piece, item, set, and so on. For example, the technician replaced a piece of equipment that was not functioning. Another example, the school purchased several new items of equipment. The fire department bought 3 sets of equipment. This is the way we usually make uncountable nouns countable wherever we use them in that context. Question number two. How many luggage do you have? How many luggages do you have? In this case, both sentences are wrong. Luggage is an uncountable noun, so we cannot make it plural by adding s to it as we discussed before. And that's the reason the second sentence is wrong. How many luggages is wrong. And what is the mistake in the first sentence? There we have not made it plural by adding s, but there is another mistake. With uncountable nouns, we use uncountable quantifiers like much, little, a lot of, a great deal of, and so on. We never use many before an uncountable noun. And the first sentence is how many luggage, which is wrong. If both the sentences are wrong, how do we correct these sentences? There are three ways to do it. One, how much luggage do you have? Two, how many bags of luggage do you have? Three, how many pieces of luggage do you have? These are the three different ways to correct the sentences. Out of which, the second and third are best for clarity. That doesn't mean the first one is incorrect. That's also grammatically correct. Question number three. I found a hair in my soup. She has a lot of hair. Here, both sentences are correct. Hair is a noun that can be both countable and uncountable. In the first sentence, it's used as a countable noun, so we can use an indefinite article a before the noun, hair. So the first sentence is perfectly all right. Supposing there are 2, 3 hairs in my soup, how do you say that? You can say either I found 2 hairs in my soup or I found 2 strands of hair in my soup. Now look at the second sentence, which is also correct because here hair is used as an uncountable noun. When referring to hair as a collective mass or a type of material, hair is considered uncountable. It's in this context, hair is used in the second sentence, and we have used the correct uncountable quantifier, that is a lot of. So both the sentences are perfectly all right. Question number 5. The wildlife sanctuary protects endangered bison. The wildlife sanctuary protects endangered bisons. Here the first sentence is the correct one. So what is the mistake in the second one? We have used bisons in the second sentence, which is incorrect. Look, here bison is not an uncountable noun, but the noun bison stays the same in both singular and plural forms. You don't make it plural by adding s to the noun bison, and bisons is incorrect. The other examples of this kind are deer, swine, sheep, fish, trout, and so on. In the case of fish, we use the fishes in the plural form when it refers to multiple species. Otherwise, we use the same word fish for both singular and plural nouns. These are called irregular nouns because regular nouns are ones whose plural forms we get by adding s to the noun. But there are certain nouns like this where you don't get the plural form by adding s to it, and they are called irregular nouns. For example, you can say, I saw 3 deer in the yard. Don't say 3 deers because deer stays the same in both singular and plural forms. Question number 5. My father had 3 oxen to plow the field. My father had 3 oxen to plow the field. Here, ox is a countable noun, but its plural form is oxen, not oxes. This is also an example of irregular nouns. The other examples are goose, geese, mouse, mice, louse, lice, larva, larvae. By the way, I forgot to mention which sentence is correct. Now it's quite obvious to you that the second sentence is the correct one and the first one is wrong. Question number 6. I'd like a coffee, please. I would like some coffee, please. Here, both the sentences are correct. The noun coffee, just like tea and milk, is an example of an uncountable noun. And as I discussed before, a or an is not to be used before uncountable nouns. Or you can see the indefinite article a being used in the first sentence, but this is an exception. While purists sometimes argue that tea and coffee are uncountable nouns, and hence we should say a cup of coffee or some coffee, and the use of a coffee is considered incorrect. But there is another school of thought in English saying that this is perfectly all right. And they look at this as an exceptional case. So it's perfectly all right to say a coffee, a tea. So the first sentence is correct. And the second sentence is obviously right because even if coffee is taken as an uncountable noun, it's perfectly all right to use uncountable quantifiers like some before uncountable nouns. Question number 7. We need to buy new furniture for the living room. We need to buy new furnitures for the living room. The noun furniture is uncountable. So S is not to be added to make it plural. So the second sentence is incorrect. And the first one is correct. If you want, you can modify the first sentence using measurement words like piece, and we can say we need to buy new pieces of furniture for the living room. Question number 8. We need to make use of a few formulas from geometry. We need to make use of a few formulae from geometry. Both the sentences given in the question are correct. The noun formula is a countable noun, but it has two plural forms. One is a formulas, which is what I've used in the first sentence, and the other one is formulae, which is what you see in the second sentence. So the given sentences are perfectly all right. Question number 10. My son is busy with homeworks today. My son is busy with a lot of homework today. Here, the second sentence is the correct one. So, what is the mistake in the first one? The noun homework is an uncountable noun, so you can't pluralize it by adding s to homework. In the second sentence, we have used the uncountable quantifier a lot of, which is perfectly all right. So, the second sentence is the correct one, and the first one is wrong. Question number 10. We have arranged accommodation for all our guests. We have arranged accommodations for all our guests. Whether accommodation is countable or uncountable depends on the region. In British and Australian English, it's an uncountable noun. We do not say accommodations or an accommodation. In American English, it's treated as countable, so accommodations is correct. Hence, both the sentences given in the question are correct. You're free to use it whichever way you like. Given below is the list of uncountable nouns most frequently used for your reference. Try to follow the grammar rules discussed in the video in using these nouns. If you scored at least 7 out of 10 in the quiz, your English is superb, because I've seen many non-native speakers making lots of mistakes while using uncountable nouns. If you think you have benefited from the video, please do like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.